Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, oh, I unpaused already. Oops. So, Austria, what do you want for support in your diplomatic play against the Prussians? They both want German leadership. Austria is going for a protectorate. Now, I can get a war goal. You gotta transfer. The only subject they've got to transfer is Hohenzollern. I don't love that. Could liberate Hohenzollern. What if I liberated a country? What if I liberated... Let me see. Rhineland... What if I liberated the Rhineland? That'd be nice. That'd be fun. Everyone loves a free Rhineland. I would love to conquer a location, but I don't think I'm actually going to be able to achieve much with that. Conquer Prussian Brunswick, just completely isolate them, that would be extremely obnoxious. Anhalt, where's Anhalt? Conquer Bremen. Frankfurt. Not a lot of good conquest targets. What about Bavarian Rhineland? Can I conquer Bavarian Rhineland? .8 infamy. Gosh dang. What about a simple humiliate CB? Nah, I'm going to liberate the Rhineland. That'll be fun. That'll weaken the Prussians while still being effective. So, let's get everybody together. Got another 5th French army kicking around. Nobody's mobilized to the Austrian front yet. Okay, now a bunch of people are mobilized to the Austrian front. Let's get some conscripts going into First Corps. Oh, gosh darn it, we got some irregular infantry again. Get out of there. Hussars, get out. Irregular infantry, get out. So, we'll get a block of conscripts in our major areas. And we'll raise them. Hopefully this won't be too gigantic a war. I definitely don't think the Prussians can take both of us at once. They're trying to take Alsace-Lorraine. That's good. That means that they are forcing us to stay in the war. Now, obviously, we're paying a huge amount, but we're almost done building these universities. Ooh, there's canneries. Wonderful. You have low organization. Why do you? Supply shortage. All right, shouldn't be an issue. See, why do you have... You have an input goods shortage. You all do, because of the shortage of ammunition. Okay. So that's unfortunate. Let's start canning fish. And then we'll work on the munitions industry. Where's my munitions industry? They're over here. Physically, they're located in the French Low Countries. That's alright. Let's go ahead and build them up in the capital. And unfortunately, we'll also need to increase the size of the railway here because we don't have a lot of infrastructure available. So this means these universities are going to have to wait. And it also means cash flow is going to be a problem for a little bit, but that's okay. We will put an import subvention on ammunition for the time being. which is going to cost us a bunch of money, but it's also going to be productive. Catholic Church continuing to be unhappy, which I don't love, but is what it is. Force comparison's looking very good over here. Force comparison's looking pretty bad over there. Let's throw the Army of Africa over. That might not have been wise, but force comparison here is rock solid. They only have a very small army here. So if we can hopefully take everything we wish to take and just continue to smash forward into Prussia and get this thing really, really done in a comically fast manner, which it looks like we're doing. Actually. Come on. We got all of Rhineland pretty much immediately. Armies are pushing forward. First score is low in organization once again. But again, hopefully this won't be too big of an issue. We also have an artillery shortage. Let's go ahead and build up... I shouldn't have built these in Ile-de-France. I should have built them in Normandy, where we got a lot of steel. We'll build an artillery foundry there as well. Once again, slow but effective. We are actually losing this battle somehow, despite our huge number of armies here. I see. Well, they did allocate more forces, but the Prussians are definitively... Wow. The Prussians are actually definitively winning in the east. Mecklenburg-Strelitz bailed out of the war. See, this is curious. First Corps continues to increase in size. We're probably bringing in ammunition. Fight a battle over here. Well, I guess the Bavarian Rhineland is an area we need to take, and we've almost completely taken it, so that'll be what it is. That'll be what it is. We still have very, very low... Hey, Schaumburg-Lippert bailed out of the war. So we should be getting very solid radicals, loyalists from high legitimacy. And also the House of Orleans is going up much faster now. Let's see how much it's going up by each month with a righteous government. We're at 28, we're going up to 30. So we're getting 2 every month, which means that we need to cover another 90. So that should be another 45 months, which is just over 3 years. So hopefully, that 5 years of extra legitimacy is going to really, really make things easier. The Austrians are just getting the snot beat out of them, which is unfortunate because we're doing really well over here on this side. It seems like we might be able to win this on our own, even if the Austrians don't get whatever they want to get. Sweden, my friends, what do you want? You want to trade us investment rights for some dope. Selling dope. Heck yes. Insufficient construction for investment pool. That's really a surprise, but a pleasant one. I've got to finish these munitions plants within a reasonable time frame, but I can absolutely increase the size of the construction pool. No problem whatsoever. We'll throw these at the bottom after in the artillery foundries, and then eventually we'll stop building stuff while we're in the middle of a war. Okay, we should be winning this battle, and that should get us occupation of the rest of Bavarian Rhineland. And then we should start moving into Prussia proper over here. Force comparison here is rock solid, so I feel like we should have no problems winning. Waldeck has bailed out of the war. See, I'm hoping that as more and more countries leave the war, I can just continue to smash forward into Prussia in the west here. It looks like Austria is kind of equally being smashed into, but I'm hoping that because I'm holding Rhineland now, that I'll be able to continue to gain what I wish to gain. I'm paying so much in interest now because I'm building stuff at the same time as that's all that other garbo that I was worrying about. Let's finish out the construction sector so that we can build a little faster. Oh my goodness, Austria, you've got to hold out. You've got to hold out. I got the Prussians on the ropes over here in the west. What's wrong with you? No. No, my lads. Well, the Army of Africa is getting really badly beat up over here. Our armies in the west are doing really well, though. I got to get these guys out of here. They're getting the snot beat out of them. Alright, here we go. We're really moving forward in the west now. Yeah, I know. They got attrition because they're moving across enemy territory. Austria sides with Egypt. Excuse me? What is going on over here? The Ottomans took Egypt as a protectorate? How did this happen? Incredible. Okay, this I have to actually keep an eye on, because this has implications for me. Uprising in Ulata. Unfortunate, but that will help with the colonization overall. We'll get the Army of Africa over there. They're pretty low in strength right now. Prussia sides with the Ottomans. Okay, so this is going to be another war between the Prussians and the Austrians. I can probably safely ignore that if I wish. I'm going to need to demobilize my other armies in order to deal with the Ulata situation, though. So the question is, can I get enough occupation in Prussia that I can force them down? And I think the answer is yes. Austria is unfortunately going to capitulate. Ooh! Nitro. Wonderful. Let's get our explosives industries producing more explosives, and our mines using those explosives. This might create an explosive shortage. It has indeed. Shame, but it is what it is. Explosives industries increase. Colonization of Togo is complete. Wonderful. More German miners leaving the thing. Okay, so likely what'll happen here is Austria will capitulate, and then Prussia will capitulate to me, allowing me to have my free Rhineland. If they do not, yeah, because Prussia's got more and more of their subject states leaving. Actually, nah, I think this is too much for Austria to turn around. Prussia's vassal swarm goes fast, but it's not. This is too slow to be. Why aren't we fighting a battle? They got the whole Western Prussia. Why aren't we fighting a battle? Harvest conditions started. Situation in Ulata crazy. Alright. So Prussia got German leadership. And now... I got labor movement. Now they're likely to surrender to me. In fact, they're happy to have a free Rhineland in order to not be in war anymore. So, we'll go ahead and propose that. They've already got German leadership, so I can't turn that one off. So it is what it is. Now, my armies are on their way back to France. I'm actually going to demobilize. No, actually, I'm not. Because they'll automatically demobilize when I win my war in Ulata, which is going to be really fast. Because this war is going to finish out real quick. There we go. We got Inner Mauritania already. Because it's actually going to be faster overall. Oh my goodness! The United States got couped. Their government got couped and they turned into an autocracy. Incredible. Gotta keep an eye on this. Alright, there we go. So that should lead to the demobilization of my armies, which will in turn help my finances significantly. So, USA, you're doing an autocracy. You're still in slavery. You haven't gotten rid of your slavery yet. Bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Explosives factory is almost done. Let's build up another explosives plant. This one in the capital. then we also need a little bit more government capacity. Oh, that's right. We need to swap our trade centers over to bulk trading. Government, 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 government. Where are we short on government capacity? Not a lot of places, but over in Limousin we're close. Aquitaine we're close. Constantine we are close. French Low Countries we're close. Guyenne we're close. We're going to build up a bunch of government admin, it turns out. So let's throw them at the top slowly, so that we can finish out the other constructions we need to build and still get ourselves the government capacity that we need without interrupting all the other important construction projects we're working on too much. Because I gotta get these universities finished. The universities are kind of mission critical here. Then I can finally relax a bit. I didn't realize I hadn't built the second round of explosives factories yet, but I still need them built because I need to get them going in order to be able to get the rest of my mines on the superior production method, which is using nitro, which blows up real nice. So I think after that, my goal is going to be, I'll probably increase the size of the construction sector further, because the investment pool is still increasing in size, and on top of all that, I've just made iron way, way cheaper. Government admin in Constantine is building really slowly. That's kind of a tragedy. We'll build these other government admins first and then finish out. Actually, we'll do the explosives factory first. The government admin's in the middle. There we go. Perfect. Micromanaging things that don't matter away. Alright. Any other colonization I can do in here? Doesn't look like it. Again, these are big malarial areas. Okay, we are finally going the correct direction to actually outrun the British in East Africa. So I need to keep an eye on that. I can decrease the autonomy of Tahiti. You know what? Sure. Why not? You're a puppet now. I'm gonna reduce subject payments because that costs me nothing. The Philosophy Department. We've secured funding for the philosophy departments in all of our institutions of higher learning. The University of Normandy has chosen to focus this funding on advancing Hegelian dialectics. Now that we're more or less seated, we can begin. Everything you do at this institution begins and ends with this portmanteau. Philo, meaning the love of, and Sophia, meaning wisdom. The love of learning and thought is what philosophy is. Underpinning philosophy is the outlook by which we perceive life, the world, everything in essence. We can't necessarily teach you how to do a specific task here. What we can teach you is how to learn, how to think about learning, how to learn and how to think about learning on your own. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis, extra university building throughput, or investigate dialectical materialism, extra progress on socialism. I'm actually going to go with the throughput bonus. I think that's better for the short term. A doggy diplomatic play, that's alright. I can deal with that easily using the Army of Africa. It's no problem. So, Rhineland is our neighbor. That's nice. They're very amicable with us. They do have a truce with us, I suspect. Yep, they've got a truce with us for another 5 years. But, you know, after that we'll be able to subjugate them and that'll be great. Austria is having something of an internal situation going on due to this massive war they're having on two fronts with the power they already lost a massive war with. That's wild. Which means Egypt is losing. I could have stepped in, but cash flow is really bad. I do have a little bit of extra authority. That's right, because I no longer have a radical movement. All my other movements are reducing in size significantly, which is also nice. Feeling pretty good overall. Loyalism is going up over time. Again, this graph is bugged, unfortunately, in the current build of the game, so I can't. It's a little bit hard to tell. what's happening with radicalism in the nation. But we're in the process of learning to build stylish furniture, which is really, really nice. Now, what about our dye workshops? Textile mills. These will be more profitable if they produce luxury clothes, but only to a certain extent. I don't want to manually construct using government labor, using government money, any extras, because I'm really trying to give it a rest with the government construction. Investment pool is still doing well. Let's go ahead and increase the size of the construction sector even a little bit more. Let's build some small construction sectors around France. Any places where we've got unemployment. We're actually experiencing significant unemployment here. And that should be creating a welfare payments line item, which I'm not super pleased about. So hopefully the private sector will be able to deal with that. And there's colonization rights and a dog. That's just fine. So now we have Messina. We need Eastern Mali. 13.9 infantry. USA says they might stop me, but I don't think they will. So let's give this a shot. Once again, we'll mobilize the Army of Africa to deal with the situation. Now, do I want to also grab Timbuktu? I think the answer is probably yes. 5.4 infantry to grab Timbuktu. I am not going to do that because I don't want them to be. Because I don't want to go above 25 infantry once again. And this will help me get everything I need, because this will be closing out this side of things. And if I can snag Fouta-Jalon afterward, that's Britain fully locked out of this middle area, pretty much. And then I can colonize that basically at my leisure. Colonization efforts are going pretty well. Construction sector continues to increase in size. Stubbornly and at a healthy rate. Let's get all of our mines running the higher production method. I know they think they're being less productive, but they're not. They're just pretending. I'm building more explosives factories, and those will be very profitable. There's mechanized workshops. Wonderful. So, let's get all of our light industry working those better production methods. Now, do you think you'll be better prioritizing non-luxury clothing? I don't think so. Oh. This is a headache. We need to figure out production methods. Oh my. What is going on here? What has happened? Something bad. The industrialists changed ideology. Alright, well. Now they can be in there with the intelligentsia. Faith knows no borders. The Catholic Church wished to strengthen our ties to Sardinia-Piedmont through our shared faith. He stopped for a moment, wiping his brow, when he noticed the Piedmontian farmer on the adjacent field seemed to be knelt down in the furrow. Confused, he peered over, finally noticing the man was deep in prayer. He should have recognized it, but it had never crossed his mind what they might have in common. A few hard years, and a faith that things would get better. Despite differences, we must cherish our shared values. Happier, but also stronger Catholic Church, or French first and Catholic second. Happier intelligentsia. I'm going to go with the first one. I can afford them being a little bit stronger. Let's take us over into the new year, get our little autosave there. And where are we in the episode? We're almost done, but not completely. I can suppress a movement, but I don't necessarily wish to do that. We're now at contested legitimacy, which means this is going up much more slowly. The only way I'm going to get there is with the Resistance Party and the government, which is a shame. I hadn't considered the cementing the House of Orleans situation. Meanwhile, for clothes, I'm going to remove the export tariff. Luxury clothes, I'm going to do the same. That's going to hopefully make our textiles industry more profitable, which will make Dolphus Meag, etc. more profitable as well. Netherlands colonized Niger Delta. Okay, so that's put their prosperity at a higher level. Company profits are very high. Again, why are these textile mills so unproductive? They're producing so many clothes. We are the #3 worldwide producer, which means we should. Yeah, okay. Now we're doing our designer clothes event chain, which is what we want to be doing. Two Sicilies is damaging relations. That's funny. Hey, Sardinia Piedmont. Let's see if I can get a an obligation from them. Defensive pact, investment rights. If we just do investment rights, they might say yes. 85% chance. How would you like investment rights for nothing? How would you like investment rights? How would you like unilateral investment rights? They would like it in exchange for an obligation. That's what we're doing. 85% chance they say yes. Let's try it. Cool. And now... Oh, interesting. So we won't have our obligation for 5 years. But that's just fine. All that means is I need to remember to do that thing. Let's build one more explosives factory in the capital. Just to get that moving. War in Messina is progressing reasonably well. So I think after this, I go for Fouta-Jalon, and that will be the end of my adventures in Africa for the moment. I mean, I'm still going to be colonizing and all that whatnot, but I'm going to be chilling out a little bit, getting colonization speed up. Ooh, but before we end the episode, let's start colonizing the Rift Valley. Again, we got to start contesting the British in East Africa because they're going pretty fast over there, and I want to be able to do as I like. There's the Messina situation sorted out. Now, what will it take to snag Fouta-Jalon? 8.1 infamy, so I can't quite do it yet, but I will be able to do it soon. No one I care about is going to step in, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'll probably do that at the beginning of next episode, which will be pretty soon. Still only getting, I think, 0.5 legitimacy per month at contested. Yeah, which means this is going to take quite a while. I don't want to drop back taxes, but I could. Finances are good, and the investment pool is continuing to build stuff, which is good. I've got investment rights in a lot of countries. Let's, hey, finish out Gambia. Let's throw a new consumption tax in. Let's do transportation this time. That'll get us a little bit of cash flow. The popularity contest. The eyes of the electorate have turned to the candidates that seek to acquire a position at the head of government. As the election approaches, voters debate who would provide the best leadership for France. I quite like Murat, mused one of the men at the bar. Couldn't say what it is I agree with him on, but I think he has a good head on his shoulders. His neighbor spoke up. Enough to look past the company he keeps? Why not? God knows you could say the same about any of us. Nobody's better to handle a fool than his friend. Hippolyte Murat is the man of the hour. Extra member of the Resistance Party. He becomes more popular. Maurice Vernier is what the country needs. Extra member of the Republican Union, and he becomes more popular. Or Auguste Comte has the character for the job. So here's the deal. The Resistance Party has a lot of momentum. I'm going to kind of let that be what it is. I'm going to give it to Murat and We'll just allow them to develop their momentum because the Republican Party and the Republican Union, they don't have the votes. And this is just going to be a situation where as soon as it ticks over, we'll swap back to the Resistance Party. And we'll be doing larger C conservatism for a bit. Designer clothes is now advancing. I'm hoping we can continue to produce. We can start producing designer clothes. He's colonizing Tanganyika. Where is that? It's over here. Gosh dang. They're colonizing fast. I'm trying to colonize faster, and it's not exactly working. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Resistance Party, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Resistance Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving France forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly. 30% momentum of the Resistance Party, or, in his endorsement, would best be more specific, 20% momentum, and the armed forces get stronger. I'm going to do the second one. I think having the armed forces be stronger is a good counterbalance to the overwhelming weight of the Catholic Church, which will likely take the country in the next election. That having been said, that is all the time we got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.